Every unit of blood donated in the United States must undergo 13 tests, including 10 for infectious diseases such as HIV. The other 3 are just taste tests for some reason. The FDA has a history of not keeping up with science. Since the early 2000s, we've had the ability to test HIV in blood within 2 weeks after exposure. To be fair, the FDA hasn't been keeping up with the science because they've been too busy keeping up with the Kardashians. FDA Commissioner Stephen Hahn lives for messy drama. So if these restrictions are so unnecessary, why do they exist in the first place? Well, I'm going to tell you the same thing I tell myself every time Mama gets her hands on an 8-ball. Let's go back to the 80s. Back then, HIV was little understood, difficult to detect, and disproportionately killed gay and bisexual men. In 1983, the FDA issued new rules prohibiting gay men from giving blood. It was a decision Ronald Reagan described as nothing, because he wouldn't even talk about AIDS for another 2 years. The FDA's blood donation ban did not meaningfully change for decades. Any restrictions serve to stigmatize gay sex and are psychologically damaging to LGBTQ people. After the Pulse nightclub shooting in 2016, the restriction prevented gay men from helping their own community.
A countless number of people are lining up to give blood in the wake of the attack in Orlando, but a number of gay and bisexual men who want to give can't.
The practice is discriminatory.
I got turned away from being gay, so I just feel helpless, scared, sad, angry.
It's heartbreaking that people who want to donate blood can't. There is almost always a need for blood. There has never been a time when America had such a surplus of blood that blood banks were like, no, we're full. Actually, take ours. You like what? O negative? B negative? But the need is even greater now because of coronavirus. Blood banks all over the country are facing low supply, and to help treat COVID-19 itself, doctors are experimenting with convalescent plasma therapy. A large study found that giving COVID-19 patients transfusions of plasma from people who have recovered from the virus may be beneficial. It's hopeful, the same way I'm hopeful about my second vampire novel. Dracula was my gym teacher, but then he got fired for being weird with students. The FDA's restrictions are blatantly discriminatory, but there's a better, smarter way to screen blood donors. The biggest risk factor for HIV is unsafe sex. That's why GLAAD and more than 500 medical professionals have petitioned to enact policies and protocols which focus on screening for specific high-risk behaviors, regardless of sexual orientation. These would include things like unsafe drug injection, having unprotected sex with a partner who has HIV, or having unprotected sex with multiple partners. I mean, thank God there's no mention of it being unsafe to role play as Best Picture winner Shape of Water. That movie single-handedly saved my sex life. I played the fish. Many countries already use this system for screening. In Spain and Italy, blood centers ask donors if they've engaged in specific risky sexual behavior. It's a very simple, straightforward questionnaire that rules you out if you've participated in any of the following sex moves: the midnight caller, the major dad, the leave it to beaver, the 8 is enough, the small wonder, or the Sanford and Son. I mean, yes, those are all TV shows, but they're even filthier sex positions. There's no reason the United States shouldn't also adopt non-discriminatory guidelines. It's a no-brainer. We need blood. Eliminating this restriction would add 300,000 pints of blood to the supply each year, which could save 1 million lives. It would also save what's been a pretty shitty summer so far if they decide to deliver that blood via water slide. Thankfully, we do have some leaders who are desperately trying to drag us into this millennium. 20 attorneys general sent a letter to the Department of Health and Human Services asking them to ease the homophobic rules. And Tammy Baldwin and Adam Schiff are lobbying the FDA to ground their guidelines in science, not homophobia. Unfortunately, as long as the Senate is controlled by Republicans, there's no way a bill can pass. That's why we have to flip the Senate this November to get this bill passed, and because I really want to watch Mitch McConnell cry. Did you know his tears come from his neck? They do. Think about that for the next 2 minutes. If you liked this video, hit subscribe and let me know in the comments below. And if you didn't like this video, I'm sure you've already left a comment. Thank you so much.